Hello, everyone. Welcome to Inside Talk Show. I'm Carla Elizondo. Inside Talk Show, it's an inside job. We're living from the inside out, not the outside in. We're going to live from our 6 higher faculties as opposed to our 5 lower senses. Everything that is in our life and that we can see or in anyone else's life was first an image of the mind. Everything that is seen was first unseen. We truly create our circumstances through our thinking. We're continuing the reading of The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles. We're on chapter 10, Further Use of the Will. You cannot retain a true and clear vision of wealth if you are constantly turning your attention to opposing pictures, either externally or imaginary. So you cannot retain a true and clear vision of wealth if you are constantly turning your attention to opposing pictures, either external or imaginary. I would say that is true for anything. You cannot retain a clear and true vision of your success if you're constantly turning your attention to opposite or opposing pictures, either external or imaginary. You cannot retain a true or clear vision of health if you are constantly turning your attention to opposing pictures of sickness. Focus on what you want. Do not tell others of any past financial troubles. Do not think of them at all. Do not tell anyone about the poverty of your parents or the hardships of your early life. To do any of these things is to mentally class yourself with the poor for the time being, and this will certainly check the movement of things in your direction. Because if right now you are struggling financially, if your bank account is low, if you're in the red, focusing on that won't get you out of the hole. It'll most likely get you deeper in the hole and just make you feel like poo. It's focusing on how to get out of it, how to make money. Not even get out of it. How do you make money? Focus on money. If you're in debt, focus on making money. Focus on service you can provide. Focus on anything you can do to get in the green, into the plus. Let the dead bury the dead. Put poverty and all things that pertain to poverty completely behind you. Let it go. Forgive. Release. Holding on to it, yes, we feel in control, but it's an illusion of control. We just stay stuck in that quicksand and just keep getting deeper and deeper. You have accepted a certain theory of the universe as being correct and are resting all your hopes of happiness on it being correct. What can you gain by giving heed to conflicting theories? Ooh, this is so good. Okay. You accept a certain theory of the universe as being correct and resting all your hopes of happiness on it being correct. What can you gain? What can you gain by giving attention to a conflicting theory? This is a big topic we were talking about this morning. What would it help if you accepted a theory that the universe, that God, is friendly and wants you to have everything your heart desires? Matter of fact, every desire in your heart was given to you by God. That's why you have it. Accept that theory. God is on your side. God wants you to win. God wants you to have it more than you want you to have it. Why then, or what help would it be to accept any opposing view, any pushback, any alternative? Well, let's look at the other side of it. But we're playing devil's advocate. If you share a dream with a friend, I want to start this business. I really believe it. My heart and my spirit are singing. I want to do this. You tell a friend that, or a loved one, or anybody. They go, well, let's play devil's advocate. No. At that point, you are in no position to accept applications from any advocate from the devil. A Course in Miracles says we are far too tolerant of mind wandering. We are far too tolerant of mind wandering. That truly is the problem. Our ability to be still and just get quiet and listen to that still small voice, to get centered, to just shh, 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 shh. I always do that. We need a little shh in our lives, meaning me, when I feel anxious or worried or, my mind gets spun out on whatever, fill in the blank. When you are going towards something, you need all the faith you can get. You need all the positive you can get. And the ego is going to come in, or other people, doubting Thomases, are going to be like, well, Carla, you got to be realistic. You got to look at both sides. No, you don't. No, you don't. I've been doing that my whole life. Guess what being on both sides gets you? In the middle. Guess what happens in the middle? You get run over. That's the ego's sly, insidious little trick. Instead of picking a side, it wants us to stay on the unstable middle of the road, right? We can't get on the left or the right. The ego wants us to stay in the middle, teeter-tottering, because that's being realistic. That's looking at both sides, being logical, being smart, being intellectual, being able to hold both sides and make up a wise decision. No, we highly overestimate our minds. We can't even focus on one damn thing. What makes us think we're going to be able to be like, get an idea and be like, yeah, okay, now can I get all of the opposing so I can really make a decision? No. We have to focus on this one thing until it happens. Without a doubt, negative or opposing images will not bring the image you want into pass. It's just going to muddy it up and cause chaos. And that is so counter to the ego. We want to be intellectual about it. We want to be contentious or argue with ourselves mostly, right? When people say, can I push back on that? No, thank you. I already have enough pushback in here. I don't need yours. But when it truly comes to those around you that you're close with, who have earned the right, who know your heart and who are really on your side, if they see you getting off track and they go, okay, Carla, can I push back a little bit? If they've earned the right, absolutely. And I don't mean surround yourself with people who are absolutely just brainwashed and don't, can't take criticism or can't take advice. Because let's be honest, we all hang around with people who think like us. We all hang around people who think like us. Like attracts like. You run with your tribe, whatever you want to call it. You guys all agree. And that's how it should be. It's not always good, the results, right? People that strap bombs to their chest, they all hung around with each other. What are the results of their cahooting together? Death. But people who are for, cleaning up the oceans, they have a passion for cleaning the oceans. They all attract one another and hang around each other. What's the result of that? Clean oceans, the betterment of this planet. So it doesn't matter. Let's all be honest. If we stay in the middle of the road, and a lot of people do, for intellectual purposes, to be able to look at both sides. Well, I want to be open-minded. Well, when it comes to achieving something, you have to be single-focused. And that is death to the ego, because the ego will have no argument. Yeah, I hope that made sense. It's just been a lesson that I'm learning, and I'll continue to always learn. When I am trying to go for something good, and let's think about why a quote unquote a devil's advocate or a pushback comes up. If you're talking to somebody and you want to challenge their point of view, do you really want to challenge their point of view for them, to help them? No, you want to challenge their point of view because it's opposing to your point of view, and your ego wants to set them straight, wants to show them what's right, wants to be right, wants to convince them. It's never about the other person, right? Like a real pushback or devil's advocate is to help someone. But the way we use it today, devil's advocate or pushback, is for us. We're uncomfortable with someone else's point of view. Our ego cannot stand somebody else disagreeing with us or seeing things differently. It can't just let it go. It's like a dog with a bone. It'll fight, it'll argue, it'll just get into contentious debate over anything, over anything. That's ego. That is my 2 cents about devil's advocate and pushback people. We're far too tolerant of mind wandering. I will add to that. We are far too tolerant of entertaining opposing thoughts to what we really want. And that shows up in pushbacks, devil's advocate, or, well, but we can't afford that. We have enough in us already. And when you feel the urge to push back or play devil's advocate to somebody, ask yourself why you want to do that. Is it really for the betterment of them, to help them because you see them going down a path? Or is it because you feel uncomfortable with their point of view? Let's be real. Let's be honest. I certainly, oh my God, I don't even think I used the term devil's advocate. I just argued because I was like, you're an idiot and I'm right. Just absolute ego, bravado, just absolute righteousness and ignorance. The inability to hold another's point of view. Guess what? I don't have to hold another's point of view. I have enough work trying to hold my own. Let's be real. Show me the person who really understands and can hold there are people, right? But they're rare. They're people that we study and we follow and we read their books and they've had all this experience and wisdom and age and all this. Show me the person who really can objectively look at something without attachment or emotion-soaked beliefs. We're not there. We're not there. And that's okay. And that's okay. And if you are, please message me so I can take your course. And I don't mean to be rude, but we're not there. We're not there. The ego would have you believe you're there, but my friends' results don't lie. We're not there. That is my eye-rolling lecture of the day. Okay. So you have accepted a certain theory of the universe as being correct and are resting all your hopes of happiness on its being correct. What can you gain by giving heed to conflicting theories? Nothing. Do not read religious books which tell you the world is soon coming to an end. Do not read the writings of muckrakers and pessimistic philosophers who tell you that it is going to the devil. The world is not going to the devil. It is going to God. It is wonderfully becoming. True, there may be a good many things in existing conditions which are disagreeable, but what is the use of studying them? Truly, what is the use of studying them when they are certainly passing away, and when the study of them only tends to check their passing and keep them with us? Why give time and attention to things which are being removed by evolutionary growth when you can hasten their removal only by promoting the evolutionary growth as far as your part of it goes? Yeah, what is the use of studying them when they pass away? And I love history, don't get me wrong. I question, though, truly, the way we are studying, because I think it is important to study history, but not in the way we study it. Because we go, what's the importance of history? Why are we studying it? Well, so history doesn't repeat itself. What the fuck? History does nothing but repeat itself. If we learned anything from looking at past civilizations and the brutal murder and ignorance and fighting and debate over things that are still happening today, which are loaded, we have not evolved. Studying history clearly has not helped a thing. History does nothing but repeat itself. And I'm wondering, is it because we're keeping it alive? Let's think about that. If there's a big argument in a family, right? Say Romeo and Juliet, the two families that are against each other, warring. You see this all the time. And every generation is taught, we don't like this family. They are the enemy. And you just keep keeping the history alive. Whatever was the initial break or the initial disagreement that brought these two families to oppose each other. And you keep teaching forever and ever and ever and ever. That's just keeping it alive. So I think that we haven't learned how to study history correctly because it does just keep repeating itself. We're not studying history, we're just keeping it alive, and we're suffering the consequences of it. Because when you truly study or get to the problem of something, it's over. And you just live the solution. You no longer experience the problem. You just don't. All right. No matter how horrible the apparent conditions may be in certain countries, sections, or places, you waste your time and destroy your own chances by considering them. No matter how horrible the apparent conditions may be in certain countries, sections, or places, you waste your time by putting your attention on them. You should interest yourself in the world's becoming rich and in solutions. Think of the riches the world is coming into, instead of the poverty it is growing out of. And bear in mind that the only way in which you can assist the world in growing rich is by growing rich yourself through the creative method, not the competitive one. Give your attention wholly to riches. Ignore poverty. Whenever you think or speak of those who are poor, think and speak of them as those who are becoming rich. That's the thing, how we talked about yesterday about, poor people don't need charity, they need inspiration. Yes, if they're starving, bread and water, of course. Yes. But don't look at them as if they're poor. These poor people, I'm helping the poor. They just need help. I'm one bad decision away of sleeping under a bridge. If I didn't have my family, where would I be? I would be just like them. Homeless. The only reason why we're not homeless is because we haven't experienced enough hardship, let alone mental illness, if we're blessed and lucky enough to not experience any of these obstacles. And that was one epiphany I had over the past 5 years of understanding, because we can look at these people, anybody who is on the street, and think that it's a different breed. Wow, that's unfortunate. That's a homeless person. We are them. We're them. It's easy. You think it like, where's their family? Well, they didn't do drugs, if they didn't do this. If you've ever worked with kids and they have any hardship, it is no surprise, and I do not blame any teenager for turning to drink and drugs to numb it. I certainly was one of them, and nothing really bad happened to me, right? It's how we interpret it. The human condition, the mind, just exploring and examining your existence can be troubling to the soul, which will turn you to wanting to escape with marijuana or alcohol, let alone being sexually abused or beaten. Oh my goodness, there's so many things. I'm just so, we talk all the time. Well, I show this little model of our mind, what represents our mind. This represents our mind. This is our body results. These little antennae are our 5 senses: see, hear, smell, taste, touch. The arrows are the energy, information, everything just coming into us. Our conscious thinking mind, our subconscious mind, our emotional mind, which runs the ship. If it's not here, it will never be here. Just because we know something doesn't mean we're gonna do it. Hello. But this conscious part, the ability to think, to reason, change our perception, have a strong will, that's not in us when we're kids. That's why they say that spongy age, they say 0 to 5, but I say 0 to 7, 0 to 8. A lot of people do, but we don't have that top part yet. We're just open emotions, just subconscious, whatever's dumping in there. It's our programming. So if we have had any negative programming or any virus code. No wonder why people act out. No wonder why people, I have nothing, hello, but compassion. And I've worked with that community, as I've spoken about. And just working with kids, I see it so much. They are just a walking replication of their parents on steroids. It just, compassion, my level, and it grows daily. Because of course I struggle with it. Because I think, well, I'm responsible for my life. Why can't people take responsibility for theirs? It's like, we're not the same. Just love people. Just love people. Meet them where they're at. We learn that as in training to be therapists. Meet people where they're at. You gotta meet people where they're at. You just gotta love people. They don't want your lecture. They don't want your book. If you're gonna give them money, like I said, if you're led to give anyone money, who cares what they're gonna do with it? Who cares? You let it go. If they need to get high, God bless them. If that's what they need. That's the only way they know how to cope. Bye-bye. They don't need your lecture, and they're not gonna benefit from your lecture. And you can't change them. You cannot push your point of view on anybody. They would be more willing or more inspired by your actions if it was absolutely unattached, unconditional giving, unconditional love, not giving a $5 bill with the energy of they're probably going to buy some booze or drugs with it. Give it to them with full love. Whatever you want to do with it is your business. Love people. Unattach any control or any agenda. And just love people and understand that we're the same. Anyone who's on the street, it can be so unfathomable. That would never happen to me. Well, what if all your family and friends something happened and you had no one? Where would you go? Yeah, just got to love people and meet them where they're at. And it's hard. Ooh, when I first started seeing clients, everything in me, it was so hard to just keep my mouth shut. And of course I did, thank God, because I'm older now. But if I was in my 20s, oh my God, I don't know if I'd be able to not lecture or give advice or just be judgmental, right? We're all judgmental. And someone was saying the other day, like, we say, God, people are so judgmental. I'm not judgmental. I'm unbiased. I'm unbiased. I'm really open-minded. I'm not judgmental. I'm unbiased. Bull crap. We all are by nature. You cannot not be. We are all judgmental. We are all biased. Just accept it. It's okay. Because that's how we function. But just don't act out on it and study yourself. Why are you judging? Why are you biased? It's through those paradigms and those early programmings. All right, this is getting so far off topic. Okay. So give your attention wholly to riches, ignore poverty. Give your attention fully to health, ignore sickness. Give your attention fully to peace, ignore war. Give yourself fully to justice, ignore injustice. Don't give your attention to injustice. Don't give your attention to it. It's happening. It's happening. How can we make it better? Yeah, it says give your attention wholly, not to what you don't want. Give your attention wholly to what you want, not what you don't want. That's a whole nother topic about fairness and equality. Ooh, I don't know if it was The War of Art. That book talks about, I think Tony Robbins too. There's a really good recent interview on YouTube of him. Maybe it was Lewis Howes. And that's something that is a hard pill to swallow. That there is no such thing as equality. There just never will. And to fight for that is a futile battle. It's I always use the example of these days, when I was a kid, we used to ride our bikes to go get candy bars at the liquor store or whatever. But in the world we live in today, should a kid be able to walk to the liquor store and buy a candy bar and walk back? Yeah, they should be. Can they? Probably not. Should they be able to, we should be able to let our kids walk to school? Yeah, we should. Some people do. But in certain places, can you? No. Should a woman be able to go out and wear whatever she wants and drink without abandon if she wants to just let loose without having the fear of being taken advantage of? Absolutely, she should be able to. But can she? Probably not. It's a sad truth. But we have to protect ourselves from the reality of what is. It's rough. And that was something I found myself fighting against. Well, I should be, should. Well, you should, but can you? What's the reality of the world? That's like I said, a whole nother topic. But, so give your attention wholly to riches, ignore poverty. Whenever you think or speak of those who are poor, think and speak of them as those who are becoming rich and those who are to be congratulated rather than pitied. Yes. Don't pity anybody. Don't pity anybody, including yourself. Then they and others will catch the inspiration and begin to search for a way out. Because I say that you are to give your whole time and mind and thought to riches, it does not follow that you are to be sordid or mean. To become really rich is the noblest aim you can have in life because it includes everything else. On the competitive plane, the struggle to get rich is a godless scramble for power over other people. But when you come into the creative mind, all this is changed. All that is possible in the way of greatness and soul unfoldment, of service and lofty endeavor, comes by way of getting rich. All is made possible by the use of things. I'll stop right there. There's a few pages left. I hope you enjoyed that. I know I got off on a lot of tangents, but I hope you're having a wonderful week. As always, if you ever have any questions or just want to chit chat, I have free calls every week. The link is on the profile page, and I would love to meet you and just talk about anything that, any services that I have that you're interested. I would love to meet you. And as always, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.